Ow. Pow, pow.
Caught me
Ryan,
eating.
run. You do what you want on this show. Nobody's stopping you. Who's firing Lana Quest from this show? I would like to know.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. You could have been somewhere else and just what is that? Why am I hearing feedback?
Probably me chewing.
Oh, you know what it is?
Is that what it is?
I'm watching myself on YouTube on the other channel.
Oh, I've done that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let me stop eating for a second. Sorry. Hi, everyone.
I almost fired myself for doing that. All right. Well, hey, Black and White Show. Brian Rundle, Lana Quest, how are you? Please like and subscribe. What's happening?
Hey, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm okay. No, I'm actually not great. It's Super Bowl week, as many people know. Lana, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
It's Sunday. It's Super Bowl Sunday. First of all, is Lana Quest even at home?
Yeah, I'm going to watch.
You are watching the game.
I'm going to buy snacks. Got my new sectional and everything. I'm ready. Living room is done.
Are you inviting people over, or is it just you and the family? And
if you didn't know, I have a bunch of kids. I have like 4 of them. And then I have there's I have a lot of people. So I don't have to invite anyone because my family's big enough to crowd a room.
So it's a Super Bowl party in a sense.
Yeah. The baby. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Are you rooting for anybody in particular? Do you give a shit? You should.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that's the reason why I'm rooting for Kansas City. I never would have rooted for them had it not been for that ridiculousness. But
exactly.
I want Kansas City to win. I don't really care because I already told you about my past grand plans of going to the Super Bowl. If the Dolphins had made it, I literally would have been flying out tomorrow.
Oh, he's upset, everyone. No. Tell him it's going to be okay.
Is it?
Elmo said it's going to be okay. I love that they were upset with Elmo because Elmo was like asking people how they are.
I don't, man. This whole country needs fucking mental health help because I don't know what's going on. We're mad at Elmo. We're mad at Taylor Swift. We're mad at fucking beer cans. I don't know what's going on. This is just beyond crazy.
Display items in stores, it's just
right. And this is supposed to be coming from the masculine, manly men, and I don't know. To me, it seems kind of snowflake-ish, if that's a word.
It is a word, and I agree.
Yeah. I was telling Lana, we got some very good traffic from our last show. Got tons of comments. I hope some of the people who commented were able to come back and sit through this show and maybe try your best to get through it. And, feel free to make your comments live during the show. But we got a slew of comments. There was one clip that I played about the border and it got over 1,000 comments on there.
Are they upset about the border?
Well, this was before, and we're going to get into that. This was before the bill actually came out, but we had talked about a little bit about the border, how the Senate was working on a plan for it that we did not know yet. And that Republicans were basically saying, no, don't worry about it. We don't fucking need it now because we got to wait until daddy comes home. But in the comments, it literally felt like a mix between being at an MMA fight, a Trump rally, a mental home, a professional wrestling event. It ran the gamut, and really 1 out of every 150 posts had something decent to say.
It's so funny, right? Like, they're so stupid. And I'm going to say it because they're literally stupid, and they will literally twist themselves in pretzels to like stick it to the lips, and they're literally sticking it to themselves. That's what's so funny. I know we're going to get into all of this, but it's like, I know that Democrats were like, give them everything because they're not going to take it.
Right.
Like you said, daddy's going to tell them not to. So
Right.
let's do this conservative bill. Let's give them every single thing that they want. And even if they accept it, it's still a win because it's still something's getting done.
Yep. That's exactly how I look at it.
Yeah, Democrats knew these stupid Republicans would be like, look, dead on arrival.
Yep.
Even before you even look at it, dead on arrival. Like, what are you, a fucking nutcase? Like, you're crying about fentanyl and you're like, oh, we're just gonna wait and let it kill thousands of more people before we do anything, just in case daddy becomes president. Because what if he doesn't? Oh, y'all just dead. Like, it's dumb. And people
they're grasping at straws. Literally a week ago, they were yelling how it's the number one crisis in our
right,
country, and Joe Biden and the Democrats, and to their credit, Senate Republicans said, because the Senate is different than the House. When you vote in senators, they're more realistic people. The House, any clown can win the House. So, they got together and said, all right, it's a crisis, so let's fix it. And Republicans and Democrats said, all right, let's fix it.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they're like, well, I mean, I don't know if it's that big of a deal. I think, the fact that Taylor Swift is being shown during football games is a bigger deal now. So anyway, we are going to get into that more, but let's start with a couple of breaking news stories from the day. The first one came out earlier this morning. If you haven't seen it, a federal appeals court said Tuesday that former President Trump is not immune from prosecution in his federal 2020 election trial. That shocks nobody. The only thing that shocked me a little bit is it took this long for them to come out with this ruling. I think some of the things I read, some of them said the reason. What did you do the scroll?
You didn't notice it.
I like it. I think maybe why it took a little bit longer than most people were thinking was because they wanted to make sure that everything was as airtight as could possibly be, because obviously the next step is possibly sending this to the Supreme Court. And I think they wanted to write their findings so airtight that the Supreme Court is probably, from the experts that I have seen, have said, yeah, we're not even going to touch this one. We're just going to send it right back. And we're going to see the trial probably in the springtime. But the decision is a setback for the former president and the 2024 GOP presidential frontrunner, who has argued that he is immune from prosecution over his alleged efforts to subvert the 2020 election results. And as I'm reading this, I laugh. How do you not just laugh at some guy who was the president, who basically says, I can do whatever I want to and nobody can stop me? And the other ridiculous, he's tweeting out that, if a presidents aren't immune to do whatever they want to do, then that means from now on, every single president's going to be arrested after their term is up, which is ridiculous because we've had 44 presidents prior that we've never had this issue with.
That's just stupid. Like, it's just so, because presidents will be arrested after their term, so I need immunity. So when I do my crime, I don't get arrested after my term. Like, that's what he's saying. Like, it doesn't even make sense. And yeah, it made sense that it took them a long time because it was 3 judges, and I guess they wanted one voice to come out of that. So they probably each had to write their own decisions, and then they had to come back and look at it and try to combine everything. And what was good about the decision was that you see how they took things from Trump's own mouth, things from his attorney's own mouth, things from lawmakers, Mitch McConnell. Oh, I'm not voting for impeachment because they'll deal with him if he gets dealt with.
Correct.
Outside, he'll be prosecuted. Like, so
they argued that themselves during the immunity.
They argued that themselves.
Yeah.
Trump said he should not be impeached. Catch me on the rebound. That's what he said. And now they caught him on the rebound. And now he's like, no, wait, double jeopardy. I was impeached.
Oh, yeah. He said, we're not even playing basketball now. Now we're playing tennis. So it's a joke. He's a joke. And so are the clowns that back this guy constantly. In fact, I'm getting ready to play one clown that got up at the podium today with all these morons that are standing behind him. And this is Matt Gaetz, who's got issues of his own. And I'm sure at some point we are going to talk about that on this show because it will come to fruition. I am pretty sure. But let's hear Matt Gaetz is he wants to present a bill or anything that says that a president or Donald Trump specifically cannot be immune from an insurrection.
We are here today to authoritatively express that President Trump did not commit an insurrection.
And there's at least Stefanik, by the way, standing behind Matt Gaetz, who is running against our friend Stephen Holden, which we hope everybody goes out and votes for. But let's finish up to hear what Matt Gaetz has to say.
We believe Congress has a unique role in making that declaration. It's not the job of the states, and especially not the job of some bureaucrats in Colorado, to make this assessment and interfere with the rights of voters to cast their vote for the candidate of their choice. The very experts who often get on television and talk about securing democracy seem to be the first to want to then remove a candidate from the ballot because they are afraid that he is too popular.
That's their whole MO. Is what they'll do is they'll take whatever it is that is being projected at them, and they will turn it into a pretzel that is just so misshapen that you look at it, it looks like your 4-year-old made the pretzel.
It sounds stupid. Like, if you had any just sense about you, you would be like, what the fuck is he talking about? So in essence, he's saying, yeah, they're just jealous because he's popular.
Which is ridiculous, first of all. Again, we've talked about on this show 100 times. I think Joe Biden is dying for Donald Trump to be on that ballot, which he's going to be. And that's the guy he wants to run against. He is dying for it to be Donald Trump. But here's what, we were kind of alluding to earlier, is that none of these people actually believe what they say. They just don't. And Donald Trump is a caged animal that knows he's going down.
I said that to them, like he's a caged orange, and he's an orange caged animal. Like he is.
And he knows he's going down. So do these idiots. But these idiots have already been on TV. They've been on phone calls with Donald Trump, and they have given him his word that they are going to fight every single day. And the only reason why they get away with this bullshit is because A, we have media that allows it, and B, we've got fucking morons who will regurgitate everything that this idiot says, like the people who make comments on our YouTube clips.
Look at the body language. Like, I'm not a body language expert, but look at the body language here. It's not confidence. They look like they're being forced to do this because they know it's a fucking lie. She can't even look up. She's looking around until her time because she's running in her head, how she's going to say it forcefully to make people believe her. Like, it's all like they don't even look like they believe the bullshit.
Lana, that is an A+ observation. You're exactly right. None of them believe this. You have this guy in the background with this goofy smile, kind of like, all right, hurry the fuck up so I can get, so the camera's not looking at me anymore. The guy behind him to his on his back shoulder there is kind of staring like, oh, Jesus Christ. You're exactly right.
The guy in the blue with the red tie, he's just like, I want this over. I want this over. Like, they don't want to do this. They're being forced to do it. The Republican Party is like a bunch of thugs. Like, it's horrific. It's just bad.
Yeah, they really are. Let's finish up and hear what he has to say. Well, maybe it's not going to let me. Okay. I don't know what's going on with
to express the sense of Congress that President Trump did not commit an insurrection. I want to express my gratitude to Senator Vance for filing the companion legislation over in the Senate. And now is time for members of the House and Senate to show where they stand on this question. We and the former president welcome and expect many more co-sponsors in the coming days and look forward to a floor vote. And now I'd like to recognize my co-lead on this project, our terrific Republican.
Okay, that's the end of that. But yeah, you could tell they don't believe this, and this is a forced, sort of. I don't even want to say forced because I do believe Matt Gaetz and people like Elise Stefanik, they enjoy this kind of shit, but I don't even really think they understand how bad they look. They look good in a certain bubble of Americans that eat this shit up. And I think that's what keeps them coming back because they think this bubble. And I believe this too, just reading a lot of the comments, this bubble literally thinks that 70 to 80% of the country is like them. They think that we are the minority.
Right. Because they're always saying, because Republicans are always saying that's not what Americans want. It's like, what Americans are you talking about?
I don't know.
It's like, who are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm not really sure where they're getting that. Well, I know exactly where they're getting that information. And it's expanded through not just the Fox Newses and the OANs and the Newsmaxes. I mean, it's podcasts, it's, social media, it's memes seem to be some of the most efficient. And I'm not kidding when I say this. The most powerful and most efficient places where people get their political news. And do you know why that works so well? Because I've said it a fucking million times. This country is politically lazy. And if they can see a picture with some fucking words on it that's very easy to read, they'll go to their fucking friends, their work, wherever they are and go, yeah, I read the Joe Biden, blah, blah, blah. And just like, because he read it on a fucking meme.
Well, no.
All right.
Sorry for eating, everyone.
No, you do your thing. Don't you ever apologize on this show. How dare you? This one I don't want to play because I can't stand the sound of this woman's voice. Has nothing to do with the fact, by the way, that she's a woman. It has everything to do with the fact that she's so fucking dumb. But this is Marjorie Taylor Greene, although it feels like my videos are going to have a lot of pauses in them tonight, which is going to fucking piss me off. But maybe pauses with Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to be good. But this is her on she is not having anybody call anybody insurrectionist. She's just not having it.
She's not having it.
And an angry Marjorie Taylor Greene is something that's entertainment for me, and it makes me laugh.
In the media every single day accuse President Trump of waging an insurrection and accuse many of us of waging an insurrection.
Correct.
And you're doing nothing but lying and selling the lies of the Democrats all for campaigns and elections. Shame on every single person that has done that. Shame on you. You need to tell the truth. You have the freedom of press, one of the greatest rights in this entire.
This MAGA nut is talking about the freedom of press. Shame on you, Marjorie Taylor Greene. You are the last person that should be talking about the fucking freedom of press.
So disgusting.
Oh, she really is. She is just a nasty. And now we're sounding like Trump. She's a nasty woman. She's just a terrible person.
She really is.
All right.
World, and anyone that puts the word insurrectionist, calls President Trump an insurrectionist, and calls any of us an insurrectionist is a liar, and you do not deserve the power that you possess. Shame on you. Shame on you.
Defensive.
Let me give you guys a little.
Oh, there's more. Oh, nope, that was it. Lana, did it work? Shame on you. Did it work?
She's defensive, right?
Very.
Why is she so defensive?
That's another one of their MO things. They think that they yell at cameras and that people get scared of them and that people give a fuck what they say. And
that's exactly how guilty people act.
Yeah.
If you were not an insurrectionist, you wouldn't even talk about it.
No.
Why are you so pressed about it? anyone call me or anyone else and she can't even spell it. Stop playing, Marjorie. That's just, oh my God, go away.
Really what this is coming from is after the news that broke of that Donald Trump cannot be held immune. Now they got to shift their focus. You know, they have to shift their focus on anything else that is not working for them. So now you have this, and Trump, I'm sure, is on the phone with Gates. He's on the phone with MTG. He's on the phone with every motherfucker who bows down to him and says, you get out there and you make the case in front of the American people, and you get them mad, you get them all riled up, so they go on small YouTube shows and make fucking dumb comments and get them ginned up for just in case this happens. Maybe they'll get together and they will make sure I never go to prison, which is fucking delusional. That's what I think, at least. What do you think, Lana? Do you think that's right? I asked that on purpose because I saw you put that tip in your mouth.
No, you're absolutely right. That's absolutely what he's doing. Absolutely. Gotta get them. And that's what they look like, right? They look like they got the phone call and they're all standing there because, like you said, Daddy told them to.
Yeah.
You didn't want to be there. He told them to. You get up there right now and hold a presser.
Yeah.
You go to bat for me.
Yep. That's exactly what it is. And it's kind of like, and that's, that's why they want to put the border on the back burner. They want to put, they want to do is just keep people mad, make them angry. So they think there's going to be another January 6th. They think there's going to be some kind of civil war. And I hate to burst their bubble. There's not going to be a civil war. It's not happening. If Donald Trump gets convicted and goes to jail because of the crimes that he committed, you're going to have a small, pathetic group of people who are going to act angry. And then there are one of two things is going to happen. They're either just going to go home or they're going to go to jail like those other idiots. So it just, but while it's happening, I don't know, Lana. It's just crazy. Okay.
Don't make me listen to her again.
Nope, she's done.
She's just awful.
Let's go to just another thing that happened right before we went on today. The House, which has been deemed as probably the most embarrassing and the most worthless House ever elected to American politics, pulled or tried to pull another stunt today. And the stunt was trying to impeach the Homeland Security, the Secretary of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, because they think that he is not doing enough to stop people from coming into the border. Meanwhile, he was responsible for helping the Senate get together and try to fix this border problem. So he's trying to do everything he can. The Senate's trying to do everything they can. They came up with a bill that pissed off some Democrats, which must mean must make some Republicans happy. So, and what it was is what politics really is, what politics is really at the end of the day. It's all about negotiating. It's all about trying. Well, bless you. It's all about trying to get,
run.
Are you okay?
Yeah, just cooling off from the run. Like I was hot and now I'm starting to.
Well, first of all, sneezing is one of the greatest feelings ever. Isn't it a great feeling to sneeze?
Okay.
But yes.
Now I gotta blow.
There you go.
I was like eating, going on, just all of it. That was real.
That's the beauty. If this was like a professional thing and we were, on TV and stuff, we couldn't do this shit. But here we do whatever we want.
Are you kidding? I've seen Andrea.
We were drinking wine.
You are nice. I've seen Andrea Mitchell choke and gag on air. So stop playing. Did you see that time? No, I was not joking. She was really on interviewing. One of the national security people, and she started gagging like a cat had a hairball.
What?
Like you gotta YouTube it. They probably
Did you have to leave?
No, it was so weird. And that's when everyone was like, she needs to go. Because that was around the time she fell asleep too.
Yeah.
So that was funny. But
yeah, old Andrea Mitchell.
Yeah. I like Andrea though.
Yeah, she's cool. She's all right. But anyway, we got a vote today trying to impeach. Again, this is a joke. These people are not serious. There are 100 other things. In fact, I see when I hear these MAGA people talking about, we've got other shit happening in our country that's more important. Okay, what's one thing the House, even people in the House floor are yelling, name one thing that we have done. Name one, just one. They cannot fucking do it. But here's the House floor vote today. And let's see the final count.
Let's see it.
On this vote, the yeas are 214 and the nays are 216. The resolution is not adopted.
Oh, this poor bastard. And I say poor bastard is in fuck off. I don't think he understood
For what purpose?
What he got himself into.
Did you hear when they had to do, were they gonna they voted to, I forgot what it was called. Like right after that, they made another vote. I don't know if it was to adopt it or not adopt it or do it over, something. And so there were the ayes, right? Because I don't know if it was a do-over. I don't know, but it was barely any ayes. And then the no's were oh, right? And he goes, the ayes win.
Oh, that was Mike Johnson?
Yeah, right? So then the Democrat got back up to speak and said, I vote to have a yay, nay, right? Instead of an aye, whatever, just yelling out there. So then they had to tally, just do the votes again. So they have it again to like a recount, I guess, to make sure that the count was right or something like that.
Was that for the Mayorkas impeachment?
I don't even know what the hell it was for.
Oh, okay. All right.
I just know it was like an eye. I'm like, motherfucker, the eye's lost. What are you talking about? It was just, it's so, what are you doing? What is he doing?
Not only did the eyes lose in that, this is something, if you're going to bring an impeachment inquiry or if you're going to bring impeachment charges against somebody, you're the House, you're the ones who are going to initially vote on this to send this to the Senate. And they didn't even have how do you know that you don't have the votes to do this? And it's just another embarrassment to the Republicans. But what's even more embarrassing is that shit like this happens all the time, and we still are going to have an extremely close election. That's what's fucking embarrassing.
These people are not working for you, MAGA.
No.
Where are your kitchen table issues? They're doing things that they know that they did. They knew they didn't. You can't tell me that they didn't know they didn't have these fucking votes. They didn't care. They just wanted to push through it because it's like when they commit to the nonsense, they got to go through with the nonsense. They were never going to say, you know what, we can't vote today. They were never going to say that because Trump wouldn't let them. Trump doesn't care about, we have the votes, we don't have the, just go do it. I said, do it.
I gotta tell you then that makes it even more embarrassing. If they knew they didn't have the votes and they said, let's just go through it anyway.
How do you not know? The Republicans that sided with the Democrats and said no, there's no way that they were saying to them, yeah, you got my vote.
Yeah.
Because Nancy Pelosi went from office to office to office counting the friggin' votes. So either Mike Johnson miscounted or
they just went through it anyway, like you said. I mean, I don't get it. But Donald Trump's MO is, I'll say it, but I won't go through with it, and then just ignore it. He's like his, his healthcare plan. It'll be out in 2 weeks, and then they ask him 2 weeks later. It's like, it just ignores it. So I don't know. To me, that's so embarrassing for this country.
Right, it is.
How many votes? Wait, let me go I'm just going to look real quick. How many votes?
60?
How many?
Was it 214, 260?
Yeah, how many? There was 4 Republicans. Okay, that said no.
How do you not know that?
Yeah. I don't know.
How do you not know 4?
You know what? It may be, I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know. I can't imagine that there would be House Republicans that would tell him yes and then just vote no later. And I don't know. But
They
either
must have been
way,
saying, because I remember early on in the news cycle, there were a few Republicans saying, I'm not comfortable voting because where's the high crime? I'm not comfortable voting when there's no high crime. They haven't proven a high crime. Why would you count that as a yes?
right. I don't know. I mean, and some people may just take their job seriously, and that's what it is. And now we're, and this is also coming from the party that have people up at the podium defending a guy who's saying, well, president should have full immunity because if not, it's just going to be, every politician's going to be based on party. And that's exactly what they're doing. This is only because it's for a show. They don't really think they've got something on Mayorkas. They just think that they can link something together to make people angry about it. And maybe that's why they went through with the show. It's just
right. Because remember, their people don't care.
Yeah.
We can go on Twitter right now and laugh about, that was failed. And they would still go, Biden still got the border wide open. Like just the dumb shit. Like it doesn't matter to their audience. They could do anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Well, Lana, speaking of the border, if anything, it appears now as if the Republicans want an open border.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying in my tweets.
Yeah.
Republicans want open border.
This just came out.
The border crisis. Sorry.
That's exactly right. Yeah, we have a Republican border crisis, and I hope Fox News covers it the same way that they do.
Exactly.
When they decide it's time to spark up the border chyrons and stuff. But the Senate Appropriations Committee released on Sunday the text of their sweeping $118.3 billion emergency spending package, which combines foreign aid with restrictive policy changes for the U.S.-Mexico border. The bill's fate is highly uncertain, with the package held up for months as a bipartisan group of senators hashed out a border deal to appease Republicans. An initial vote is expected this week, which it is my understanding that's supposed to be tomorrow. And Mitch McConnell is saying to vote no on it. Which again, I mean, I think you said it perfectly earlier, is that it's a no-lose situation, in my opinion, for Joe Biden. In fact, if it does pass, the only thing I think that might be a loss for Biden is you're going to have some Democrats mad about it. I mean, that's really about it.
Right.
DA just said Republicans want closed borders like Tim Scott wants a wife. That's about as perfect as an analogy as you can get. That is exactly right.
That's hilarious.
Let's see here, Lana. Republicans are divided over. Hey. I follow him on Twitter too, by the way. Republicans are divided over whether to support additional aid for Ukraine and whether the newly negotiated border measures go far enough to stop illegal border crossings. So this seems to be a sticking point with a lot of the Republican, I should say the MAGA Republican people who have been programmed to believe that us giving money to Ukraine is a horrible thing for the United States, even though probably 85 to 90% of even Republicans believe this is important because Russia is not our fucking friend.
Are you
They're
sure?
not our buddy.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm quite sure. Yeah.
Tucker Carlson sure believes that they're our friends.
Who does?
Tucker. Didn't he take it?
Oh, yeah, he was just there. Yeah. Yeah, that's just fucking great. That's great.
Rewriting history. That's what they do.
So the House Speaker, Mike Johnson, called the deal dead on arrival already in the House and repeatedly criticized what he had heard about the deal. I also heard him in an interview on Fox News where it was with Laura Ingraham, and he says that he talks to the president about this. And, basically the president is telling him there's absolutely no question. And this is what it's all about, is that Trump says you cannot do a border deal with Joe Biden. That gives him points. If you do a border deal with Joe Biden, I am going to be fucking irate. You would think that some of these Republicans would go, who the fuck cares? Because your ass will be in jail. But they do believe. I mean, they still believe even if he gets arrested and goes to jail, other than the Georgia case, because I believe that's the only one where he can't immune himself. He's what was I just saying?
The Stormy Daniels too, right?
Yeah, there's all kinds of shit coming up with this guy, but it's I don't know, it's crazy, and it is, like I said, what I was saying is that this is clear that this is all direction for Donald Trump, because he cannot give Joe Biden any points. If you give Joe Biden's any points, then as the process goes on, it's just going to be worse and worse for him, and he is going to go to jail, and he knows it, and he knows there's nothing to do about it.
And we're not making this up, right? Like, we heard Chuck Grassley say it. We heard the oldest member of the Senate, 90 years old, actually say, we cannot give out. No, that was the other thing. Oh, Lord.
No. He did, though. He said it before.
Right. Oh, my God. But I'm getting like all of it confused.
No, because it's been said more than just one person. Yeah, there's that guy who walks around with his cigar like an asshole.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but he comes to the camera again like Marjorie Taylor Greene, like he's a badass with his stupid cigar in his hand, talking about we can't give Joe Biden any points. And I don't know, man. It's a joke. This country's become a joke because of Donald Trump and because of Fox News and the right-wing media, period. End of story.
It's really sad because people really are suffering. It's like, from the border to the child tax credit, right? Like, now is not the time. We can't give out checks right before an election because it'll make Biden look good. We can't try to do anything with the border because it'll make Biden look good. Like, what about your constituents?
Yeah.
But the very constituents are like, they don't care.
Well, they're the ones in Texas. First of all, I will also say one other thing that I'm getting pretty tired of is hearing other Americans pretending like the border is their number one issue in their life. Not one of these people can name one, even half an event that has happened to them where the border crisis, and I'm not trying to say that it's not a crisis. So if you're watching this and you're going to make your stupid little comments, let me make clear, the border is a problem. It's been a problem for decades. But these Americans who are in Iowa or who are in Minnesota or in Washington trying to act like this is the biggest crisis in our lifetime right now, and the fact that Joe Biden is doing nothing about it, and President Trump he would come in and just shut down the border and do everything. It's mind-boggling. First of all, Trump cannot come in and just shut down the border. He was able to do it one time. He was able to do it once during COVID. And there is a law that basically says if there's something that could hurt the country, if there's a reason why, you can do it. So he was able to shut it down temporarily, but he didn't do it because he's some strong man. He did it because he was able to do it under a loophole in the wall.
Well, and the crazy thing is, if you pass this bill, the conservative bipartisan bill, it will give Biden authority to shut down the wall when it gets to shut the border down when it gets too crazy, where it's out of control. He can He can shut the border down. He can't do that. He can't do that now. What do you think what do y'all think the border is? A door?
Right.
You just shut the door and lock it. And you're like, nah, you can't get in. Like, that's not how this works.
Yeah, you know what? In fact, I was going to play the comments of President Biden, but first, because you just said that, I want to show you a little clip of a report that a young lady from CNN did. She actually went to Eagle Pass to report on these people who think they're going to go to the border and do something. I don't know what it is they think they're going to do, but let's take a look at what is actually going on at the border.
Texas, even other parts of the country to be here. And some of them, even though we are about a half hour from Eagle Pass, have driven down to Eagle Pass to try to actually see what's happening at the border. And I've spoken to a number of people who said that they're a little surprised by what they're seeing here. I want to play a conversation with a woman, Misty. Take a listen.
Before Misty talks, this poor lady's very professional. She does a very good job, but I have this feeling that inside of her, she wants to just say, these fucking idiots who are down here in Eagle Pass, who actually think they're going to stop something and that they're seeing something that that's what I would hope she would say, but she's professional. She does a very good job. All right, let's listen to Misty.
Come on, Misty.
Come on, Misty.
It's pretty surreal. We actually made it into Eagle Pass and we went and saw Shelby Park. I was able to see some people actually trying to cross and stopped at the wire there. So
now this is an actual tourist visit, unlike the Capitol.
It's very eye-opening.
And tell me more about eye-opening. Is it what you expected? Is it better? Is it worse?
It's not what I expected, but then again, I don't know what I expected. I can tell you it's not as bad as what I thought. So that's kind of eye-opening in itself too. Yeah.
Yeah, if Marjorie Taylor Greene hears that, she's going to be extradited from the Republican Party because that was not the report that she wanted to hear.
Exactly. It wasn't as bad. Like, what did you think you was going to see?
I'll tell you. Well, see, that's the thing. I'll tell you exactly what it is that they thought they were going to see. They thought they were going to see all these migrants and gang members come in and try to invade because that's the story they've been told. And it's been told for years. Every time there's a Democratic president, it has been told that the people breaking through the border are coming in with all kinds of fentanyl. They're coming in with all kinds of guns and knives, and they are here and ready to take over this country and rape your women and children. And that's what she thought she was going to see, period.
Wow. Missy came to see some rape?
Misty came to see some rape. She was like, it wasn't as bad as I thought. I saw no rape.
She was like so disappointed.
So crazy.
She wanted to see some crime. She's like, where's the fentanyl, guys?
DA just said 90% of Americans think you need a passport to visit New Mexico. That is crazy too.
That's true. They're like, they go to New Mexico. They're like, where's the border?
Yeah. They're like, I don't see anybody. And poor Misty saw no freaking rape. She's pissed. Now here's a real president talking about the border and the package that the Senate tried to put together for this border. Let's listen to Joe's comments. And if you are listening to this show instead of watching a clip on Breitbart, or you're watching it on one of your social media feeds that have nothing but MAGA nuts on here, you're going to expect a Joe Biden who doesn't know where he's at and doesn't know how to speak and stumbles all over his words. Let's see if he can get through it.
But if the bill fails, I want to be absolutely clear about something. The American people are going to know why it failed. I'll be taking this issue to the country, and the voters are going to know that it's not just a moment. Just at the moment, we're going to secure the border and fund these other programs. Trump and the MAGA Republicans said no because they're afraid of Donald Trump. Afraid of Donald Trump.
He laughed. He's like, what?
Every day between now and November, the American people are going to know that the only reason the border is not secure is Donald Trump and his MAGA Republican friends. It's time for Republicans in the Congress to show a little courage, to show a little spine, to make it clear to the American people that you work for them, not for anyone else. I know who I work for. I work for the American people.
That's right, Joe. Tell him.
Yeah, and I want to make one thing clear. That's not a guy who doesn't know where he's at. That's fucking Christian Bale Batman is who that was. Dark Brandon is bringing it.
He's like, they're afraid of Trump.
Yeah. He's like, The fuck you upset about? What are you afraid of Donald Trump?
He's like, come out back, Donald.
It is true, though. Why are they so afraid of this guy? There's nothing about him that's scary.
It's not him. It's his followers.
They're afraid of them now?
It's his followers.
But should they be? I mean, I think they, and don't get me wrong, there are nuts. And they can do some scary shit. But I think as a whole, I think they just like the anger part of it. I don't know if they like
a lot of them too, but I think like the ones that we thought were more moderate that are just going along, I think they're afraid. Like because a lot of them left, like Romney. These guys know that it's wrong, but I think they're afraid. Nikki Haley has to.
I'm sorry, you're talking about the Congress people, the congressmen and women. Right. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they follow because they're afraid. Nikki Haley needs security now. I was surprised she didn't have it. I'm like, because in my head, I was thinking like, girl, the longer you go, they're gonna want to get you.
Yeah.
Because his followers are crazy. So there's no way she's not getting death threats right now. There's no way.
I will say this. I think they're the followers, the MAGA people. I think and that's what I was alluding to a few minutes ago. I think they say crazy shit. Mm-hmm. I think some of them are capable of doing crazy shit, but the vast majority not the vast majority, but yeah, I'd say the vast majority of them are 45 years or older. And they're at a point now where they're like, I can still get angry, but goddamn, getting off this couch does not.
I don't know. I don't believe that because they will get off that couch with that gun. Because remember, these are all these gun-toting people that can get these guns without permits. They will get off the couch and do some crime. I don't know.
Maybe I asked that because I think maybe the threat of MAGA. Now, I want to, first of all, we got to separate this a little bit because I'm talking about, because there's a couple of different sides of MAGA that I think you have those Nazi people who are in the street, those people are fucking scary. Those are the people who the FBI and the Department of Justice say are the biggest threat to this country. Those people are the scary ones. The other side of MAGA ones that you always see interviewed with the big beer gut and they're not doing shit. They love being angry. They've their whole lives they've been angry, and this MAGA movement satisfies that anger so well for them that it just somehow they love it. They love every second of it. So, but you're right. There are, I think, obviously if anybody's going to cause any kind of destruction or problems, especially when it comes to the reasoning of why they're doing is because of fucking politicians, it's going to be those nutballs.
It only just takes one, right? Like it only takes one to go from some lazy dude on a couch to I'm going to get my gun. Because who was that guy? Literally, who was he? Did he get to shoot up anyone, or did they shot him? I mean, remember the older guy and his family? The defense was they shouldn't have shot him because he's old and disabled. But there were pictures of him with
vaguely remember that. Yeah, I vaguely remember it.
Right. So like they're there, and Nikki Haley to these people is standing in the way of something.
Yeah.
Right. She's in Trump's way. They want to remove her. So I think that she would get more than just crazy for real, trying to come at her because Donald Trump doesn't like her. So
no, he doesn't. But what's going to happen as soon as this is all over? She's just going to fall in line and she's going to endorse Donald Trump.
Right,
but she'll endorse Donald Trump the same way Bernie Sanders endorsed Hillary Clinton.
She said she would pardon him if he went to jail if she was president. So absurd.
DJ just asking questions, had a couple more comments. 9/11 happened during a Republican administration. Very true. Democrats have always been more responsible with national security. Well, I've always said too, we keep talking about terrorist attack. Everybody keeps talking about terrorist attack in this. There's really only been two major terrorist attacks in this country. It was 9/11 and Pearl Harbor. Those are the two major terrorist attacks. outside of that, if you want to line up all the other terrorist attacks that happen in this country, they've come from within. They've come from our own people.
Right.
So,
terrorists, right.
Did you see January 6th? The other MAGA are the ones who converge on the Capitol. Now, those are the people, again, I think you had a mix of people in that Capitol. You had the people I was talking about, the beer gut guy that he was going in but wasn't going to do shit.
Right.
And then you had the other ones with the zip ties, and they had plans. If they saw Nancy Pelosi or AOC or anybody else they didn't like, it was on for sure, 100%. They were all doing that for their fat orange daddy.
What color's your daddy?
Yeah, orange. Here is Lana, I believe he's the lead of the border control. And he was on Fox News being asked about this. Now, he is in charge of the border. This guy controls but he's in charge of it. And he's being asked on Fox News about the border
goes
bill.
Forth has to be much better immediately.
Harris, we're not going to get much better immediately, so I'm going to take those incremental steps. If this were going to tie Donald Trump's hands, I would be opposed to it immediately. It doesn't. It doesn't tie any good administration's hands.
So why do you think he's against it?
I have.
Which I hope the only reason why she asked him that was because she wanted to elicit the response that we gave earlier. Is that because Donald Trump? Otherwise, there is no other reason to ask that question.
There's no other reason.
Because Donald Trump could tell exactly why he believes, but he hasn't said one fucking word as to why he doesn't think it should happen other than it's a terrible bill. He was saying it before the bill even came out. He had no idea what was in the bill, but he was telling everybody how terrible it was.
No idea. I haven't spoken with him about it. If he has specific issues, let him air those issues. I will take the positive points in this bill. There are negative points. But if we don't even let this bill come to light, if this bill doesn't even go to the fore, we don't even get amendments. And that's what everybody's talking about. Everybody's talking about killing it before you're able to even offer amendments. That's wrong. Let's have
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point.
That's it. We were just talking about that. Like, they don't even say, hey, give us the bill. Let us look at it. Let us add some stuff, which there's nothing left for them to fucking add because you're saying fentanyl, whatever is crossing the border, whatever. Right. 100 more machines that detect fentanyl. So Republicans said, nope, we don't want those machines. Thousands more border agents. Nope, they don't want that. Thousands more immigration judges. Nope, don't want that. Thousands more processing agents. Nope, don't want that. They don't even, what the Democrats wanted was the dreamers to be taken care of and a way for them to become a pathway to being citizens or being legal.
Correct.
That's not in there, right? The main things that Democrats want are not in there, and the Republicans are getting everything. And Biden able to shut down the border when it gets overwhelmed, right? They're like, nope, dead on arrival.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like a bill of everything that they would want. The problem, I guess the only issue for them is it doesn't have where it is people are getting killed from razor wire and drowning and they're not getting shot down. I think that's the biggest issue that they may have with it, other than the fact that daddy says no.
But you know what? Even if it had in there, put the razor wire everywhere, they would still say,
yep,
no way.
No question. They would find a caveat. They would find something like the Ukraine money or they didn't say anything about the Israel money, but the Ukraine money, the cost of the border policy changes come to $20 billion for transportation for deportation shelters, more than 4,000 new asylum officers, more border agents, anti-fentanyl trafficking efforts, and other resources. And I believe, I can't remember the number, I was trying to find it on here. There's more money for the wall, to build the wall. So, I mean, what the fuck is the problem? Well, we know what the problem is. Why am I asking that?
Right. And then you got Greg Abbott over here talking about, I'm not removing my razor wire until Biden does something with the border. What? You should be mad at Mike Johnson. What are you talking about?
God, these people are fucked up.
I hate them.
Me too.
That is true.
See.
Jay said if it was crack instead of fentanyl, they'd be all over it.
Right. Yeah. That's exactly right.
Leroy and BLM be coming across that border with some crack.
There is no question about it. No doubt. Well, the Republicans have also turned this James Lankford guy into he's the new enemy, because he's a Republican who is very calmly going around to all the shows saying, I don't really know what the problem is. Here he is with Brian Kilmeade talking about the border and the solution and everything. And let's see what he has to say.
He said, not only does he say you need 3 weeks to read through it, he said no self-respecting senators should agree to vote on a 370-page bill this week. Any 41 senators can prevent the bill from proceeding. If you agree that senators should have this bill for at least a few weeks, and certainly more than a few days before voting on it, say so. You understand where he's coming from, right? Don't you guys have a procedural vote this week? And you're going to vote on the bill by the end of the week?
What the fuck is going on?
We actually have this bill came out yesterday, Sunday. The first procedural vote is Wednesday, and that procedural vote is literally just...
I don't know. I might have to. I don't know what's going on with the clips, but
are we going to debate it this week?
Let me see.
That's what Senator Lee is actually talking about. It's interesting that he said he's already opposed to it. He needs 3 weeks to be able to read it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the videos.
Like, what the hell, man? It's 300 pages. You're a freaking lawmaker. Why do you need that much time?
Well, first of all, he's already complaining about not having time, and he was just like, well, you know, you've got the time, you've got everything that you need to do. And he's basically saying, you know, there was one clip of him talking about, you know, they were complaining about something in the bill, but it turned out what they were complaining about is it was giving water to people who may be dying trying to cross the you know, the border. And he was even like, you know, we're Americans. We still have feelings for human beings. We're not looking for people to die.
Why would Republicans want to give water to migrants and they don't want to feed American children?
It's a good question.
Why would they do
that? I don't know. I don't know. We're definitely losing. We're losing our minds.
Why would this why?
Over here. It makes no sense. Like I said, I'm tired of the border being the number one issue. I'm tired of them overplaying their hand on this border thing. Now I'm tired of the fact that they already have something in place. Now they're saying, I don't want it. All this stuff. I'm over it.
You know what else didn't make sense? I mean, I know this isn't on your schedule of things down here, but so the guy that murdered his dad, decapitated his dad in Pennsylvania, right? Well, we know he did it. Horrible, radical, right-wing guy. You heard about that?
Yeah.
Right. So come to find out, he had 3 lawsuits against the federal government because he went to school, I think from 2010 to 2014, and he was pissed off with the government because he had to take out 4 loans, right? Mm-hmm. So he's pissed that he had to take out 4 loans. So he sued the government. Here's the thing. You're suing the government because you're mad that you had to take out student loans, but you're literally also mad at Joseph Biden because in his tirade on YouTube, he hates Biden, the Democrats, BLM, but it's like Biden and the Democrats are trying to forgive your fucking school loans. Like, you're hating the wrong people. Like, that's how stupid they are. Like, it was just that simple thing. I'm just like, you're mad you have to pay student loans and Biden's out here trying to forgive student loans, but you're not catching that part?
It's the same thing as those same people who are bitching about people on food stamps. Meanwhile, the red states have more food stamps than any other state in the, than any of the other states in the country. So it just.
Well, the government's kind of stealing that money, aren't they? Like, isn't that what's going on? Because I did hear that, like, a lot of that welfare is going unused because the government has been stealing that shit.
That I didn't see.
Yeah, because it's part of that, like, that, what's that guy, the football player?
Herschel Walker?
No, Favre or whatever.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Brett Favre. Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I guess that happens in a lot of these states where a lot of the welfare is being unused.
That's right. Yep. Okay, that's true.
Denying people welfare that need to have it because they're using the money. I don't know what
it's going to a famous football player's daughter to build a volleyball court at the college she goes to.
Right.
Yeah. Right. That's exactly right. So, and it's great. Brett Favre, there was little messages on him. He's like, do you think this is ever going to get out? He doesn't want it to get out. And I don't know. I'm
you read your
read what?
Your comments.
Where are we at here? Cat Williams read the entire bill in 13 minutes. Probably twice. Baby Juggernaut has joined the group chat. Damn right, I'm not watching humans go away. It's kind of the whole point. We don't want to see humans die. Yeah. That's not. There is a fantasy, I think, with a lot of these people. There's this fantasy of, I don't know if it comes from video games or it just comes from their anger. It's just, they don't look at these people crossing the borders as humans. They don't look at it as human life. They look at it as toys or, something you shoot at.
It's racist. It's just not even the video games. It's just like, they're the other. They're the vermin. They're the rapists. They're those people. So Trump is good at that, making them those people so that you don't. But again, we can't even make it that simple, right? Because we watched what they did. I always go back to this because this was like a turning moment for me when Sandy Hook happened. And I saw those white, beautiful babies with blue eyes and blonde hair, which is the ultimate America, right? Yep. America is blonde hair, blue eyes. That's been America's default. Like, that's the best of the best. We saw those babies slaughtered.
Yep.
And Republicans still didn't shed a tear, didn't care, and no gun reform.
Should have known it was all over at that.
Right. That was my turning point. That was when I was like, oh, God damn. They thugs. They don't even care about their own.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. And I think, that was even at a time too. That was at a time, I think the NRA was even way more powerful than they are now. Yeah. But you're right. I mean, it makes no sense. And you got so many people that are fighting for the wrong things and fighting for the wrong people. And it just makes no sense. And trying to explain it in any rational manner is just nearly impossible. It doesn't seem like you could do it.
Right.
Baby Juggernaut says Favre is a piece of work. There's absolutely no question about it. He was a great quarterback. But are you rooting for anybody? We already went over that. Kansas City. And he said, it's bad guys. They are my neighbors in Carolina. Hear their bullshit all the time. Believe me, I'm in Florida. I get it a lot. I don't believe Lana gets it as much in Massachusetts, which she's very lucky.
I mean, we have some races.
Sure, you do. I mean,
they definitely have.
Boston still probably isn't known as, I think they still have a reputation. I don't know if it's as bad as it was. You obviously can answer that better than I can.
Yeah, I was telling DA the other day, we have Mayor Wu, right? She's an Asian woman. So a lot of the race, they hate her because she's changing. We're a blue state, but she's just pushing it further to the limits. Like, she's hired a reparations task force, right? Like, like, I need a report in a year. Yeah. She's like pushing Black initiatives for Black men and Black boys, right?
Yeah.
Like the forgotten, right? The things that we want Biden to do.
Yeah.
And then I was also talking about how Stewart Remember Charles Stewart, how he blamed a black man for killing his pregnant wife, and he did it? She apologized to that. She got that black man and apologized, made a big press conference and did it in person, right? Like, so she's definitely making those type of strides and changes for the city of Boston because she knows the reputation. So she's trying to definitely change a lot of those things. So I like her.
Well, good.
Any chance I get, I try to give like Maureen Healy and Mayor Wu, because women are running Massachusetts right now. So
well, that's where you know that things are probably going to be done right, is because fucking women are running it. I mean, that's just all there is to it. I mean, I've said a million times that I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about homeless, and we were talking about, you see, almost all of them are men. And I said, the reason why almost all of them are men is because men will go in a shell, and if they feel like things aren't going to work out, that women will always figure something out. Always. They'll always figure something out.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of homeless women, which is sad, but no, you're right. A lot of women will figure it out, and men tend to like, I don't know. They don't ask for help. They just will not just do anything.
That's what it is. Sometimes it's pride. Sometimes it's, you know, they get into their feelings, and there's certainly homeless women, but just where I see, I mean, the ratio, I mean, it's, you know, it seems like 9 to 1, you know, or something like that, but who knows? I don't know. But, you know, before we left last week, we were talking about, we were waiting for another ruling in the New York case. We were waiting for Judge Engoron to give the amount of that Donald Trump would have to owe for frauding the city and state of New York. The judge set to rule in New York civil fraud trial of Donald Trump ordered. The judge set to rule in New York civil fraud trial of Donald Trump ordered attorneys to provide details about whether ex-Trump organization executive Alan Weisselberg lied on the witness stand. I think they're saying that the fact that he may have lied, you know, while he was testifying in there is now holding up his ruling, which may not bode well for Donald Trump. Judge Engoron cited reporting the New York Times that Weisselberg is in talks with Manhattan prosecutors to admit to perjury as part of a plea deal. So we were wondering why it was taking so long, and I think now we know.
Well, I think I think that was just recent though, because they actually were talking about that and saying that wasn't what was taking so long, because he just found out, because I think there was just a reporting in the New York Times or something like that about the plea bargain or whatever Weisselberg is trying to do.
Yeah, and that's what it said. That's what he actually cited that New York Times.
Because that was recent. So he just sent the letter over to, so like all the time before wasn't because of that. He just found this out. So this is probably stopping it right now.
Correct.
Like if he was going to do it now it's going to take a little longer, because two people testified, Cohen and Weisselberg.
Right.
So against each other, right? Cohen is like, I was in the room when Weisselberg and, you know, Trump was like basically falsifying the numbers, and Weisselberg's like, nope, never happened. But, you know, the law is, if you perjure yourself and lie about one thing, then the judge can say, take that and say you lied about everything.
That's correct.
Strike all the testimony. So, yay.
Yeah, that's what we got. Because I think, like I said, when we had left last week, we were almost waiting for breaking news to see what that total was, because I think what he was saying initially is that he planned on having that number by the end of January, and there we are now into February. We still don't have that number, but now it appears as to why we don't have that number. It's becoming more clear.
I think they have to. Do they have to do that by tomorrow or Thursday? Right? I think it's by Thursday.
I think so.
Trump's appeal to the appellate court is Monday.
That's for the insurrection.
Right. Right. He's Monday, but
it's so funny that we have to keep track of all of Donald Trump's bullshit.
So much. It's so much.
Yeah.
So much.
And it's my understanding too that if he he is going to ask for a stay, I believe was the term for the ruling that happened today about that he can't just do whatever the fuck he wants as a president, that he's got to do it by Monday, and that the Supreme Court will have a decision as to whether or not they're going to move forward with it in a day or two, is my understanding.
What are your thoughts? Do you think they're going to
Well, my thoughts are irrelevant because I'll be honest with you, my knowledge of all that is not the greatest. However, the people that I've heard talk about it, who I trust their knowledge, say that they believe the Supreme Court they're going to look at the findings and go, that was pretty fucking good. There is absolutely no way we're going to hear this case. That is my thought based on other people's thoughts.
Right.
What about you?
I think they're going to kick it too, because if they take it, they have to rule the same, right? They're just taking it to affirm it, right? That's all they're going to do, because they're not going to say this is wrong, because they're not going to give Trump immunity. But if they take it to affirm it, we kind of know they're only doing that to stall. Like if they take it, we know they're trying to stall time for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be the only reason. They don't have to do that. They don't have to affirm it unless they're going to affirm it and lickety split, right?
Yep.
Other than that, we know that you're trying to push this so that Trump is in essence immune, right? Because if you push this trial until after the election, he's going to get rid of it. So that means in essence, you have rendered him immune from prosecution. So I don't think they like Trump like that, honestly. Supreme Court, he can't touch them. They're already there. I don't think they like him. They got what they want. They got Roe.
Yep.
Affirmative action is gone.
Yeah.
Like, they checked off the shit on their federalist stuff.
Yeah.
Why do they have to agree with Trump? Like, why they don't have to do shit for Trump right now?
I mean, again, and there are some rulings where they didn't do shit for Trump. And I think they've made that clear. But I think, like you said, obviously, I think we're in a place now where even if they do, they don't care. But you're right. Taking the case now is an obvious stall tactic for Donald Trump, which would be completely obvious. I'm not sure even the Supreme Court would do that. And it would look really bad. But that's what I was saying, too. You have these people that don't give a fuck about looking bad. They don't care.
Right. But didn't Roberts, because remember, they were talking about this today, how something else went to the appeal court with Trump. I forgot what it was. And they ruled against him. I can't remember which thing it was.
That's because who the fuck can remember all this shit
I know, right?
To be honest with you. How do you remember it all?
Right. And they ruled against him. Like, how many people, whatever, against 2, right? It was they ruled not in his favor. It was in Jack Smith's favor. And I just can't remember, but it had to do with one of his cases. So I don't think they want him. Like, I guarantee you Supreme Court does not want Trump, because it's trouble for the Supreme Court.
I agree with you. There might be that might be a legitimate point. Because the Supreme Court, these are people who are supposedly and supposed to be very distinguished. In fact, I'm obviously not a fan of Brett Kavanaugh, but even some of the Democratic Supreme Court justices had some nice things to say about him. So I think when you become a Supreme Court justice, other than it appears Clarence Thomas has just gone off the fucking rails, and I'm sure that has a lot to do with this batshit crazy wife. But there's a part of them that I'm sure takes this way more serious. And you're right. I think there's a part of them too that are like, if this guy's in office, he's going to be trying to tell us what to do on every fucking thing.
Right. Right. Or take their power away. They don't need whatever racist, bigoted shit that they're going to do next. They don't need Trump to do it. They just don't, because they have Republicans who can file these fucking stupid ass lawsuits that go all the way up to the Supreme Court. Then lo and behold, they get to rule on the Loving case, right? Like, they get to rule on the stuff that they're anxious to rule on anyway. They can get that. They don't need Trump for that. They don't need him anymore.
Well, let me ask you this, though, in the back of some of their minds, because I still don't necessarily trust the Brett Kavanaughs and the Amy Comey Barretts and these people. Is there something about them in the back of their mind that if Joe Biden wins, the Democrats win the House, the Democrats win the Senate, then they expand the Supreme Court, and now all of a sudden, or they make laws where the Supreme Court, now we have term limits. Is there something about them that may keep them from the agenda?
I don't think so. I don't think Biden would extend the Supreme Court.
I don't think he would, but I think there's a possibility you could get a Democratic president in there that would say, maybe we should do that.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to worry that far down the line. Like, Biden's not going to do it. He just isn't.
Yeah, no, I don't think he is either. I don't think
not too many of them have the appetite to do it, to be honest with you. Because
I actually think they should, based on the way some of these Republicans got in there. It's just absolute shit. But Baby Juggernaut asked if we did discuss the Texas convoy. We did, in fact. You could go back and watch the replay. There's a nice little clip of, what was her name? Misty reporting from She was reporting directly from there. She was a little pissed off. There was no rape and murder.
Yeah, she's like, where's the crime in?
Damn it. I brought my camera and everything. I was going to post it on Facebook.
She's like, where's the fentanyl? I put all my money.
God.
I don't see the fentanyl.
It's so easy to do these shows anymore because it's just so full of material of just ridiculousness. Hey, before we end,
okay.
You want to talk about the economy again?
Yeah, yes. Let's talk about the economy.
Let's talk about the economy. Well, first, I want to play a clip. A guy named Steve Daines. We're talking about another Republican congressman. We talk about the fact that they have absolutely no shame whatsoever, and they know that the messaging that they spew works. All they got to do is say it, and you're going to have the people in the red and white hats and the flags and the t-shirts. They're going to repeat every single bit of it. This is Steve Daines describing what Joe Biden got to take over when he became president.
Inherited record job growth.
Oh.
Record job increases. Record wage increases.
Oh.
Spit it out, Steve. Damn it. What is going on, Lana?
I don't know. Maybe the internet is messed up.
That damn Trump.
Record job growth.
Okay.
Record job increases. Record wage increases.
All right. So this guy is going on about how Joe Biden inherited all this incredible stuff. Let's go over the real numbers when Donald Trump left office.
Yes, please.
And when Joe Biden took over. Donald Trump lost 2.8 million jobs. Unemployment was at 6.3%. Economic growth rate was at minus 3.4%. Lost 154,000 manufacturing jobs and lost 8,500 coal mining jobs. When you remember, Trump said that he's bringing the coal miners back. Yeah. The coal miners job, which is probably the shittiest job in American history, was the job that he was going to bring back for a lot of, for a crowd that I'm not even really sure who was asking for that.
Right.
But he lost it all. Now, I'll be fair on this show. All of those numbers right there that we just named are not directly tied to Donald Trump. And it did not happen because Donald Trump was president.
Right.
All those numbers probably would have happened no matter who the president was.
Right.
Because again, probably
pandemic.
Past podcasts that people did back in the 2020s, and you would know that there was something going on called COVID that really destroyed a lot of what was going on in this country. But to have the balls to stand up, again, there's people behind him.
just lie. Just like lie with no proof. Like just saying it, right? Not showing us newspaper clippings from when Trump was not showing any data, just saying it.
Not even a chart or a graph.
Nothing. He didn't even put it in writing. Like
right.
He's just reading it like it's so true if I say it forceful enough. And that's what the MAGAs believe. It's never any proof. It's just them saying it. Google it. That's not true. He was given a great economy from Obama. And then even before COVID hit, he started fucking up that economy with his friggin' tax cuts for the wealthy.
That is exactly correct. In fact, he's responsible. I think, what was the number? Like 30% increase of the deficit and the debt because of that tax cut.
Yeah.
But, you know, again, I know why they can do this. They can do this because, first of all, they know nobody's going to go back and go, is that really true? Did that really happen? They are just going to say, fuck it. This guy is presenting a case for Donald Trump in an election year where the economy is doing very well. So now we've got to put into the minds of the people who are going to vote that the reason why the economy is doing well is because what Donald Trump created when Joe Biden took over. And unfortunately, there are going to be too many people that believe that.
It's so stupid. It's just like, and I know we have to go, but I think about this all the time. In what world does one person never lose? Like, in what world is one person just never wrong? In what world is one person just always on point, always the highest and just everything? That's Donald Trump to MAGAs. Like, he can never lose an election unless it's rigged. He had to have like the best of the economy. He even tried to steal Biden's economy and said it was because of him, you know, his poll numbers that Biden has a great economy. Like, why does anyone think that that's why is that weird to anyone? Because if it was anyone but Donald Trump, like your friend, right? God, you win every game of poker. You would start thinking he was cheating.
Yeah, right.
He won every single game.
Correct. Or every game of golf like he did when he played golf. I mean, it'd be like this, and nobody would say anything to the guy. And again, I think it just has to do with, you have a lot of people who are not, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but you have a lot of people that are not leaders in life and they need to be led. And I guess just unfortunately, you know, they like being led by this clown.
Yeah.
More people in this country work at Arby's than in the coal mines. That is true. Trump appeals to an audience who spent the best 3 years of their life in kindergarten. Best 3 years of their life in kindergarten. That is correct. And Trump claimed it was rigged when he didn't win an Emmy, and that is absolutely true.
Wow.
He said that the Emmys were rigged when The Apprentice didn't win.
It just all of it, anything. It just
yeah. I hope this clip works because this is just really good. Please work. This is Larry Kudlow, who is a Donald Trump lover. This guy's in love with Donald Trump, but the jobs numbers came out last week. Economy numbers came out, and this is what he had to say. Hope we can hear it.
That jobs report, more than twice the consensus expectation. Now, I know many of my conservative friends are trying to drill holes in this report. But you know what, folks? It is what it is. It's a very strong report. Not every economic stat should be viewed through a political lens. I've been in this business a very long time, and sometimes you just have to throw away the ballot box and just recognize the numbers.
Shocking.
They are what they are. This was a very strong report. 353,000 gain in non-farm payrolls, a very big number. Prior 2 months, revised up by 126,000, another big number. And the bottom line here is more Americans are working. And that is a good thing, no matter what your party registration is. Also a good thing, worker wages continue to improve. Average hourly earnings for production workers, aka middle class, blue collar folks, they're up 4.8% over the past 12 months. And you know what? Their rate of productivity, that is output per hour, a very important economic efficiency and growth indicator. Well, productivity rose 2.7% last year. That's a good number. So the workforce is earning its pay hike. Plus, over the past 3 months,
oh, you're almost there, Larry.
Inflation-adjusted real wages increased by
4.5%, and that was the last part of it. But
so typical working families got a
shut up, Larry.
Yeah, all right, Larry, we heard enough.
nice real
Larry!
Well, he won't stop. All right, there we go. But that is, we could memorize every one of those numbers, talk to a MAGA person about it, and they would hit us with an LOL or whatever the fuck dumb shit they say. I'm guessing that even if they heard Larry Kudlow say it, they still won't believe it. They're still going to now call him a rhino or whatever they do whenever, they don't agree with Donald Trump. But those are facts. Those are real numbers. And I ask again for the 1 millionth fucking time on this show, how is Joe Biden in any way a bad president? How is he not a great president? Somebody explain it to me. Somebody explain to me how Joe Biden has not fucking rocked this job in 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Given the numbers that you read when Trump left office, of course, it was because of the pandemic mostly, but that's what he took. On top of Trump didn't give him any kind of pathway or, files on. Remember, he left office. He didn't give him information. He just freaking it's just gone, like just nothing. So Biden just came into like a blank slate and had to make it work, and he has been making it work. And no, you're right. No one gives him credit because he's not exciting.
He's old. I mean, and that's what it is. I mean, even people who are not Trump people will still come up to me and like, man, Biden still, he just looks when he's, I had somebody at work tell me that the other day. He was like, I saw him, and it's like, who gives a fuck? Who cares? What difference does it make? Look at his record. If I am a sports fan and there's a running back on my team and he looks fat and slow, but he's got 1,500 yards and he's rushed for 22 touchdowns, I don't care what he looks like.
Why does Trump not look old? Because he's orange? Like he sweats like a pig. And like he's using some new tanning solution. Like and he's talking crazy.
Way crazier than I've already said. I'll do a clip challenge with anybody that wants to do a clip challenge. You bring your Biden clips where he's messing up, and I'll bring my Trump clips, and I will outclip you 2-1. Especially over the last couple months.
Seriously.
Guy's lost his fucking mind. That's how we know that's how we all know the psycho level. I think that's what he was talking about when Trump said the Emmys were rigged. Still shocked he said it. We've been lucky or blessed. I'm assuming Baby Juggernaut is talking about Biden. Then would rather look at Trump and pretend he's not a rapist. Which, by the way, thank you. I'm glad Baby Juggernaut said that word, because we had a clip last week, and in the title I put rapist Donald Trump, and boy, the MAGA people did not like that at all. They were like calling him a rapist, and many of them said that they are going to make sure that I am sued for saying it. And I just simply pointed out to every single one of them, a judge called him a rapist, so I can call him a rapist, period.
Exactly. He's a rapist.
Yep.
That's rape. That is rape.
Because it didn't fall under the wording in New York State for rape, it had to be with his penis. That New York doesn't consider that rape unless it's with his penis.
Right.
But the national language behind rape is any penetration.
Any. penetration is rape. Stop playing right now.
Yep. And that's the reason why the jury did not find it was rape in that sense, but they did believe that that he did penetrate her with his fingers, and the judge made it clear that just because in New York state does not accept that as rape, that it is rape. And so, yes, on the very next title of Donald Trump, when we're talking about that E. Jean Carroll case, I am fucking putting rapist Donald Trump, period.
Right. Because a lot of men will rape with other things other than their penis.
Right.
Because of evidence.
Correct.
Want to leave evidence.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. They would rather look at Trump and pretend he is not rape or that already civilly convicted. Correct. He was. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. But it was semantics, and they wanted to argue, dumb shit here and there. But
Cheers.
But anyway, cheers, baby Juggernaut. Thank you for coming by. We definitely appreciate that. We appreciate DJ just asking, coming by as well. Follow him on Twitter too. You can follow him on Twitter, baby. If you have a Twitter handle, let's see it. But Lana, Super Bowl weekend.
Yes. That's it.
Yeah.
Taylor. I got Taylor Swift.
I got Taylor Swift
I don't have
too.
no one else but Taylor.
Made it to the Super Bowl in her rookie year. Congratulations, Taylor.
I'm not even like a fan like that, but I'm rooting for Taylor.
Right. Yep. So I'll be sitting watching the game. Now, I have watched the Super Bowl in the same house. Well, we've switched locations, but for the most part, same house, same people. This is going to be our 35th year in a row.
Wow.
Doing that with the same friends.
Nice.
So, but it'll be the one time that I will be there, and I am going to be specifically bummed out that I am at that party because I had other plans.
Have some shots, just drink.
Yeah, I'll make the pain go away somehow. But we will. Lana has been, by the way, if you're not watching the Quest show, she's been on fire.
4 weeks in a row, too. So
the last 3. Well, how many weeks?
I've done 4 weeks in a row. Stop playing with me. Bro.
That's impossible. I actually
impossible. I need to go back and count that at maybe 3, but I thought it was 4. Since Holden, I've been maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, if you want to try to call Lana out, then go to her page and count how many shows she's done. And while you're there, hit that play button and watch the past episodes if you have not seen them. Alana said to me last week that I don't owe her a view. And it's like, you're right. I don't owe you a view. I owe it to myself to watch the Lana Quest show, because that's where we get good information.
That's right.
If MAGA's talking on are they commenting on your?
Not as much, I'm sure. Because the amount of clips that you put is far more than I put as well. So I don't really get that.
I'd like to make clear, by the way, to these MAGA people who put the comments on there on the thing. I don't delete any of your clips, or your comments. None of your comments are scary intelligent enough for me to delete. I don't delete any clip. There are a lot of clips why do I keep saying clips? There are a lot of comments that are hidden because YouTube deems them as offensive.
Right.
And all I have to do is hit a little button and go, nope, not offensive to me. And I hit every fucking button. I don't give a fuck what any of you say.
There you go.
There you go. So, all right, 8:00 Thursday night, Lana Quest show. 5 weeks in a row, or maybe 4 weeks in a row. We don't know, but you could go find out for yourself.
All right, so I will see you on Thursday, I guess.
See you Thursday.
I'm working on that collab too, that round table. Still working on it.
We're gonna have some guests at some point, and we appreciate anybody stopping by. We appreciate everybody making the comments. Please, as the little bubble thing here says, like and subscribe. By the way, we picked up almost 40 subscribers over the last week.
Nice.
Yeah, that was pretty nice. Yeah, thank you, MAGAs, for
I know, right?
For putting we really appreciate that. So, but yes, thank you, Lana. I appreciate you as always. And we will see everybody next Tuesday night. Actually, we're going to see everybody. Lana, we'll see her on Thursday night, and then we'll see everybody next Tuesday.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Happy Super Bowl week.
Yes, you too.
All right.
Sad. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.